We have positioned ourselves as the connecting bridge between the different economies because we have already two major links with international ICSDs, with Clearstream and Euroclear, and we are expanding our links further. This is an exploration trip for us. We'll have a visit to the Shanghai Stock Exchange as well to see their technology and how do they connect generally with the rest of the world. But obviously, China is a top target for us. If we would be successful enough in the near future to integrate Chinese market, Shanghai Stock Exchange with AMX, for example, and if we would be able to show a visibility of Shanghai market in our market.
亚美尼亚资本市场正在经历一场深刻的变革。今年5月份，亚美尼亚证券交易所刚刚庆祝了成立25周年。值此之际 ，CEO 正式提出要将这个资本市场融入到全球的资本市场当中。那么今天呢，我就对话亚美尼亚证券交易所 CEO Hayk Yeganyan。Mr. Yeganyan, it's great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me to this event.
Yeah, first of all, I would like you to discuss about your plan to integrate in the global capital market. So you mentioned it in your 25th anniversary of your stock exchange, and how do you want to achieve it?
Well, look, for any developing economy, it's an ultimate goal to have a capital market which can facilitate inflow of money through major institutional investors from southeast to the west, from north to south, because the institutional money is one of the most liquid, one of the most highly qualified money that you can attract to your country. And we, as a market infrastructure company, we aim to build our infrastructure and enhance it in such a manner that we can ease the inflow and outflow of this money into our economy. And the first target for us is, first of all, to have a right technology, compliant rules and regulations in our market and in our custody, but at the same time to have mutual accounts and mutual arrangements with different global exchanges, depositories, clearing houses, and the investment banks and broker-dealers.
I also noticed that AMX has joined the Tabadul hub and also signed CDS connectivity agreements with Kazakhstan's ITS and Uzbekistan. So first of all, could you tell me about the rationale behind these implement?
Well, Tabadul is a project which has been initiated and launched by Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange. Its main aim is to connect the regional exchanges with each other so that the local broker in each exchange wouldn't need to go to another country to open an account and to open a cash account, but instead being a member of one exchange, the broker can easily trade on the other exchanges as well. And for us, it was kind of very relevant with our strategy, because if we want to bring more money from the foreign investors into our country, this is one of the major milestones that we achieved through Tabadul. By connecting Tabadul, we automatically opened our market to Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange members. Now the ADX members can see our market and trade on our market, and the vice versa. We gave access for our members to trade on the ADX. Usually people might think it's not a good idea to facilitate or enable your brokers to trade somewhere else, but because Armenia is quite a small country, it's not a big country and the economy is not that big, we have positioned ourselves as the connecting bridge between the different economies. If you know, we are part of Eurasian Economic Union, and one of the ideas was to enable our brokers to trade there, because most of our brokers, they have many non-resident clients. Hence, by building this infrastructure connections with other regional capital markets, we can enable our industry players to expand their product offering. And hence, it will become a good jurisdiction and center for trading, at least for regional capital markets.
So is there any other further measurements you would like to take in the future to expand your business, to expand connectivity between other regions and exchanges?
Well, as you mentioned, we just opened a mutual account with Kazakhstan Stock Exchange, and so our stock exchanges will be visible to each other via Tabadul, which means our members can see Kasia, Kazakhstan Stock Exchange, and the members of Kazakhstan Stock Exchange can see AMX market. And we also opened an account for Uzbekistan Central Securities Depository, which will enable the Uzbek investors to, when trading overseas, when trading international securities, to clear and settle and safekeep their assets in our custody, because we have already two major links with international ICSDs, with Clearstream and Euroclear, and we are expanding our links further. And this is a very good and bright example how Armenia can position itself as a regional hub for trading, clearing, settlement, and safekeeping of the assets. We also have now a project which is integration with Bourse Stock Exchange. By the way, Bourse Stock Exchange is our major shareholder, 72% ownership in AMX. And this is one of a kind of project for Warsaw Stock Exchange and Polish Central Depository, where they opened an account with Armenian Depository and enabling the investors who trade on Warsaw Stock Exchange also to safekeep their assets, our assets in Armenia Central Depository. And again, it's a good example. Armenian Depository has an account with Abu Dhabi Central Depository, hence we try to position ourselves in the near future as a connecting bridge between Poland and wider EU and the Middle East.
Let's talk about your trip in China. Do you have any connectivity plan in mind with China?
It's the right question. We have a plan, that's why we are here. Obviously, it's the third largest stock exchange in the world. And Chinese investors, Chinese institutional investors are one of the most welcomed investors globally nowadays. And this is an exploration trip for us. This is the first trip, but we decided to come to explore, to build up connections and network to see how it works. And we'll have a visit to the Shanghai Stock Exchange as well to see their technology and how do they connect generally with the rest of the world. But obviously, China is a top target for us.
What role do you think that Chinese stock exchanges can play in AMX internationalization's puzzle?
Look, I know that most of the European countries, they don't have direct links with Chinese capital markets. But as I told you, we are trying to build a direct link with the Warsaw Stock Exchange. And if we would be successful enough in the near future to integrate Chinese market, Shanghai Stock Exchange with AMX, for example, and if we would be able to show a visibility of Shanghai market in our market, as I told you, we have a major visibility on our market. We'll have it from Poland, hopefully soon. We already have from Abu Dhabi. We already just signed with Kazakhstan. So those markets, they can see our market. And if we extend our geographical outreach to China, it would mean that on our market, all the investors would see also Chinese market. And it's a matter of further enhancements in our infrastructure so that it won't be just visible, but also executable tradable and on execution level with its clearing and seamless settlement.
You mentioned about position yourself as a connecting bridge in the region. So in the long term, how do you vision the development of AMX?
Well, in the long term, first of all, we have to develop our local market organically in many ways, and we have few companies with $1 billion and billion plus dollar valuations, and we need to enable those companies to become public and attract money from institutional global investors. But at the same time, we want to position ourselves, once the connections are there, we want to position ourselves as a market where regional companies can come and list their equities, because it will give them a visibility and to the global pool of investors. So this is our one of the missions, to become a central place for the regional economies to list their securities on our stock exchange, because, as I said, hopefully in the near future, anything listed on or traded on our stock exchange will become visible even for Shanghai investors. I hope so. Well, I wish Shanghai Stock Exchange a great success for next decade, as you have proven to be very successful, and hopefully to be connected soon.